Well, good morning, everybody. Hello. It is December 13th, 2023, and you are in the Stitchuation room. I am Becky from the YouTube channel Power Tools with Thread, and I want to thank you all for popping in. I see lots of good mornings from everybody in the chat already, and I want to apologize, you guys. I set up the chat last night. I set up the stream. Went about my business, sat down this morning, and Gremlins got it overnight, but I was able to get it up and running again before our scheduled start time. So this is a virtual quilt retreat, and we just kind of hang out in here and visit with one another. And I'm on in your sewing room, and we just visit, we declutter, we sew, we organize, whatever it is that you want to do. We've got a virtual kitchen today, like every day, and there's coffee, juice, and lots of treats over there. So please make yourself at home, wander over, see what's available, and enjoy, okay? So yes, good morning, everybody. Oh my goodness, you guys are popping in. Boop, 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 boop. It's so great to see everybody. Hey, I gotta let you guys know, yesterday we were talking about the difference between high shank and low shank machines. I want to thank viewer Lisa L, who emailed me a link, and she let me know that the Brother Luminaire, the XP series, and then probably consequently as well the Baby Lock Solarises are Solari. What would that be? Are also high shank machines, just like the Brother PQ 1500. And I want to show you, we were talking about it because today I'm going to bind my Peace on Earth quilt. And I've got this very, very cool independent suspension, as my repair guy calls it, foot for doing stitch in the ditch. This is what I've got right here, okay? And it's for high shank machines. And sure enough, the XP, this is the standard presser foot for the XP, which is the Luminaire. And looky. If I put their little feet together, they are the same size. If I could get it to stand, they are the same size, okay? So look at that. So we've got Keebler chocolate wafer cookies. Thank you, Janet. Nice to share. Thank you. So this is the presser foot for the NQ 3700D, which is Little Gypsy, and that's shorter. So this one is shorter. It's hard to tell on my hand. I need like a flat board. Let me see. I've got something here. We'll make do with this little thread doololly I've got. So we have high shank, if it'll stand, high shank, and low shank. So you can really see the difference there. See that? So that's how you can tell. Yeah, it's very cool. So thank you, Lisa L, for sharing that with me. I appreciate it. Y'all, I don't know everything. So, all right, good. So I'm going to be using this. If you've got a Luminaire, we talked about this over at Ken's Sewing, the one in Alabama, that if you want to get this very cool foot, worth every penny, you guys. Let's see. This foot goes here, and this foot goes back on Darla. All righty. You got mine. Kaylee got hers a few weeks ago, and she loves it. You thinking about that foot? Do I think the foot? Yes. So where did it go? Oh, thank you, Celia. You're so sweet for the super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah. And even when I make a mistake, you still do that. So thank you. You're a sweetheart. Yeah. So it fits any high shank machine. As a rule, those machines are, you know what, just get it. And if it doesn't fit, return it. They'll take it back. Okay. On your Janome. I would certainly give it a chance. Oh, good. Kelly says she ordered it yesterday and it shipped. What is the number for the foot? Judy wants to know. Judy, it didn't have a number, and let me go to the site and show you how to get it. and not the one on Amazon, y'all. Get it directly from their store. Okay, this is non-promotion for me. So let me see, industrial. I'm putting in I'm putting it in on their search, and then I'm going to share the screen with you guys. I don't believe it has a number, and let me make sure it's still on there. Oh, it's not on the website. Guess what you guys did yesterday? You sold it out. Yeah, snooze you lose with this crowd, Judy. You should know better. He will he'll restock it as soon as he gets some, okay? Hey, Joyce is checking in from Hawaii. Joyce, I was just there last month. I really enjoyed your beautiful state. It was fabulous. We went to Maui for the Maui Gold Pineapple Farm Tour, and I went to So Special over there. It was fantastic. Yeah. So Laura says call a dealer. So it's not a traditional, and I actually called Darren at Mull Queens in Arizona, and I said, hey, can you get this foot? And so he was going to research it and see if he could find it. So I have not heard from him that he's got it, but it's possible he got it in and did not, shoot me a little email or a text to tell me that he got it. So the number is 64865. Ah, there you go. You guys are a wealth of information. That's wonderful. Okay, very good. So fantastic. Thank you. Matter of fact, I'm going to write that down. Let me write that down. 64865. 64865. And it comes in like a no-name package that you wouldn't even think that is the foot, but it is. What about Sewing Machines Plus? Would they have it? Janet, I will check. I will check. I am doing a live tomorrow with Sewing Machines Plus at noon Pacific, and we're going to do I have them here? No, I'm doing them. Oh, I got to go get my quilt. I'm doing greeting cards, how to make greeting cards. I didn't get my quilt. 2 seconds. I'll get quilt and greeting cards. Okay. Right here. So, sorry guys. I'm not on my game this morning. Can you tell? So we're going to be stitching greeting cards. So this is the cardstock I'm using from OESD. I've got links to it below. Thank you, Judy. Oh, you're a sweetheart. Thank you so much for my super sticker. You guys, what that is below the video if you're on a computer, or there might be below the chat. There is a $sign or it says super sticker, and you can click it and show your appreciation for the content of the channel. You guys are enabling me. Thank you so much. So generous, and I'm grateful for it. Thank you. So we're going to be doing how to make greeting cards. And look at this one. I even put some Mylar on that one. How about that? You can dress these up with the stuff that I hate, glitter and everything, and just make beautiful stitch greeting cards. So let's see. Oh, Franny, thank you. Thank you guys so much. You all are so generous. I really appreciate that so much. Yeah, it helps to support the thread habit for sure, right? So anyway, that'll be noon tomorrow Pacific time. So that's 2 p.m. for my Central peeps, 3 p.m. for my East Coast girls, and 1 p.m. for those of you Mountain Time. And the rest of the world, you guys are just going to have to do the conversion. Ask Mr. Google. I have no idea. So, yeah, well, awesome. Okay. Did you find it in stock? Okay. Excellent. I did not see the picture on the web page. So you found it in stock. Information. Ken Sewing has it right here. Fantastic. Thank you so much. That may be their stock number. I don't know if it's the package didn't come with any kind of part number. All righty. So I had shared with you guys yesterday, I'm making this Peace on Earth quilt. This is from Connecting Threads. Okay. And I lamented yesterday that for some reason, the final blanket stitch on Peace on Earth, the lettering was off. It had a massive registration error, and I am beginning to suspect it was a hooping issue, totally user error on my part, probably. But yesterday, I didn't use the multi-needle. I used a magnetic hoop, but I used the Luminaire. And I stitched on my trees. So I got my trees on. I created the design in EMBRILLIANCE, Stitch Artist 2. I scanned in the paper pattern into the Brother SCANNCUT. All right, uploaded it to Brother Canvas, cleaned off all of the little noise on the page that I didn't need, downloaded the pieces into my computer and then as a vector graphic, and then loaded those into Stitch Artist and then stitched them out. Look at that. And y'all, check it out. It did beautiful. Oh, thank you. Is it Georgia? Georgia. Thank you, Ms. Allen. I appreciate that. You are a sweetheart. Thank you. Very generous. Okay, so I've got loads of videos on my channel to show how to use Stitch Artist 2 to create embroidery designs from a paper pattern using the Brother SCANNCUT and Stitch Artist 2. And then if you have BES or Simply Applique, I also have a playlist for that. It does the same thing. If you have other embroidery software like Floriani, or you might have the Vernia or Artista, something like that, those have the ability to do that as well, but I don't know how on those software. So you are going to have to go into your search box in your like index or search or help or something and look for the word vector. That's the magic word that you're looking for, and figure out how to import vector graphics into that software. I'm pretty sure Hatch does it as well. And then you can click, once you get in vector, then kind of search on down and look for how to convert vector graphics into embroidery applique. Okay, pretty much all embroidery software does it. The reason I use EMBRILLIANCE Stitch Artist 2 is because it has it's only $369. Speaking of which, there's a new coupon code out this morning. I put it in our Facebook group, and I sent out a blog post first thing this morning already as well. So if you are subscribed to my blog, you will get an email notifying you of a new post I have put out, and it's got the coupon in it. So matter of fact, I really ought to, I'll update this video. I should have done it, but I was scrambling around at the last minute going, where's the live stream? What does the back of the quilt look like since it's a wall hanging? Does it matter? Sue, in my humble opinion, which, that and a nickel, I won't even get you a cup of coffee. I do not truly care what the back of a project looks like if it's a wall hanging. If it's not going to be seen, perhaps placemats might be seen, but it's not designed to be seen. So placemats, table toppers, wall hangings, for the most part, I don't care. What I did though is I only stitched the top, and I used Battleizer, which is a stabilizer batting combo from hoopsisters.com. And I just that's all I stitched. But now the back of this quilt is a remnant of a 108 backing. This is a fabric by Pat Sloan that she put out a while ago. Okay, isn't that pretty? I love it. And I just sprayed on some 505. Am I going to bind on the PQ 1500 SL today? Yes, ma'am, I am. Absolutely. Celia wants to know. So I normally would stitch in the ditch on this to kind of keep it together, but I don't know. I need to. I didn't have time. We had to run out yesterday and run some errands, and I'm going to be running errands all day today too. So that's frustrating when I've got plans in the sewing room and I've got, real life gets in the way. How rude, right? Okay. So the first thing I've got to do is get the binding made up. I didn't even do that yesterday. And I need to, let me take my little ditch foot so I don't lose it. My goodness. I need to switch out. I stitched that entire quilt with white thread. I pieced it and everything. So I need to get to switch out my thread to black, because my method for binding is I stitch the 2.5-inch strips to the front first, and then I iron them out flat and then fold them over and just make sure as I stitch, that I pull that around and I blind stitch from the front, and it works perfect. To stitch, I've got a cord causing me grief with my my camera stand here. I've got to move this so I can move around. Pesky cords, right? Pesky cords. Let me pop that back in. That was the plug for the laptop, so I need to make sure that. So when I stitch the top side with some batting and add the back fabric, what? Let's see. So when I stitch the top side only with some batting to add the back fabric, then bind it? Oh, okay. I iron it out. I'll iron the binding out flat. That tells the binding where I want it to go. So let me, I want to get you guys where you can, I don't want to mess up the internet. If we go black for a second, it's because I've got a loose internet connection on my laptop. But I wanted to see, these are in the wrong order right here. I'm all squished in with chairs and a laptop and a camera rolling around there. I'm trying to get the camera close so you guys can see what I'm doing. Get that chair out of the way. There we go. Y'all, my life. I need a cameraman. Doing this by myself is a trek. Okay, so let's get to binding this thing, shall we? I want to show you guys how fast it is to do bindings by machine too. Does it stay together with the 505? Yeah, so far, El Faber. So far it is. I try not to manhandle it a whole lot, So I use Connecting Threads Essential Pro. This is a poly, but look, it's a matte. Okay, it's a matte thread. So this looks exactly like cotton fiber, but it's not. And I'm going to just put the white thread back there. I got to switch out. Okay. I was using a pair of snips yesterday, not my Guggenheims, but I was using a pair of snips yesterday, and I don't know what I did with those. And they were not expensive. They were little freebies that I got from something, and I pinched my finger badly. They were scissor snips like these. I'll show you up close. Okay. They were like these, but see how this is closed in here? There's no opening, right? Well, the ones that I used had a little opening and between the two. So my finger was up underneath when I snipped like that, and it pinched the fire out of my finger, and I yelped. And I took those scissors and I threw them right in the trash. I was like, don't do that to me again. I hate that. Nothing worse. Okay, so I have tied off the black thread to my white, and let's pull it through the thread path. I'm going to use my newly found knowledge of threading this needle, of pulling this down with the thread behind, push it through, and she promised that it works every time, and it did. How about that? Don't you love it? I like that. So I showed that up close and personal, was it yesterday or the day before, on how to thread this machine and make it work every time. Oh, is Valerie here? Good morning, Valerie. Yeah. Valerie's my sidekick on my Sundays. So, all righty. Valerie, I need to know if you're available tomorrow to come help me with the Sew Machines Plus. If you are, shoot me a text when I get finished, would you? Ooh, what's in there? Okay. You got the Monopoly thread. Good. Kim. Yeah, you got the monopoly thread I recommended, but your thread keeps breaking. Oh. You know what? I don't use that thread on my 1500. I use it on my standard domestic machine. Yeah, my standard embroidery machine. So I don't know. Is it breaking when you're doing the thread cutting, the trim? That could be a problem. You use YLI thread. That's wonderful thread, Mary. Yeah, YLI is fantastic. Sure is. You know, and it's funny, machines, they're persnickety. They like what they like. I got to sew these strips together, you guys. When you're doing stitch in the ditch, it breaks. Okay, well, Kim, jump over to your domestic machine to stitch in the ditch. I don't use it in this machine. And I haven't had it break on me. It's the tension. The tension in this machine and the pressure that this machine has with the presser foot as it holds and pushes and, moves things through is much stronger than a domestic regular machine. So at least it is on my brother machines. Okay. So give that a try. I have not stitched in the ditch with this one using that thread. Okay. For your quilting newbies, here we go. I've got 2.5-inch strips. I'm just going to point you down here and let you see. Let me get you in a little bit closer. Somebody said, don't you have an overhead camera? No, ma'am, I don't. Well, I could, but I've got nothing to hook it to. Look, there's nothing. I don't have a boom up there to hold the camera. See, that's the thing, right? You got to have a boom. That's what they call it. So I've got one side up, this one up horizontal, and I'm going to put this one right side down vertically like this with just a little bit of the selvage on each edge. Turn it on the diagonal, and I have diagonal seam tape from Cluck Cluck Sew, 1/4-inch seam tape. And oh, that reminds me. I just got a notification. My husband put some new seam rippers out on the store site yesterday afternoon. I actually got him busy in the... Oh, you have to turn your machine on, Becky. So what I'm doing is I'm going to sew diagonally from V, straight V to upside down V, from here to here. So I just put the V right by the needle, and then I'm looking at this seam tape, and I can see the red line. I don't know if you guys can see the red line. This seam tape has 3 lines, black, red, black. You can use the 1/4 inch either side, whatever works for y'all. Okay. And go a little bit wider here. And then I just sew from V to V. And I keep my eye on this. Don't watch the needle. The needle has a job. It knows what it's doing. You don't need to pay attention to it. Now, this is the one that was right side up. I'm going to throw that to the back. Now, this one, you want to keep it straight. Okay. This is basic binding 101, you guys. Okay. So you can keep it straight, right? And you want to just fold it over one time so that you've got the right side up. Give it one fold. And now that piece is now horizontal. And then you take another piece, right side down. I've got my selvages hanging out. Turn it on the 90, right? And now I'm sewing V to V. And fold it over. So you've got right side up. See how I'm doing that? Really simple, you guys. Very simple. You get fancy and do a decorative stitch on the front, Fanny. Nice. When I embroider the top side only of any project placemat quilt with batting, how will it not separate in the wash? So the best way to keep the back on is to stitch in the ditch somewhere on that. That's the best way to keep it on. Okay. All right. And that's it. And if we have time this morning, I'll show you guys what I mean by that. All right. So now I'm just going to clip these apart. I only needed 4 strips, I think, for this, is what they said. Okay. Now, so I've got my little pieces here on the end, the little tails. So I'm just going to, it's hard to see because it's black, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm just going to cut 1/4 inch away from the seam line. The stitch there. And then get rid of those. Okay. I didn't even make my binding yesterday. This process, normally I'll do this like a day or so prior. Just get my binding ready. I didn't have it ready. Told you I was out running errands yesterday. Yeah. What you got, Genevieve? You bought that machine in 06 because of the big throat. Have quilted lots of quilt. Now you're going to have to try piecing. Hate the way it threads. That's right. This machine is a beast. I've never had mine serviced either. Yeah, it is the best piecing machine I've ever had. And I'll tell you, probably, and the reason you might not have liked it for piecing, and I'll be honest with you, is if you use 100% cotton thread on this machine, it's going to unthread the needle every time when you hit the scissor button. It's going to unthread the needle because that thread is weak. The thread I use it's a poly. Okay, so that's why I use this thread from Connecting Threads, and I've got it linked below the video where this thread. Okay, I've got it in white. This is the white that I use. It looks like a cotton because it doesn't have any sheen to it. And this is a polyester thread. And it's a size 70 or 3. And it's 3,300 yards of white polyester. That's what I use. This is from Connecting Threads Essential Pro. Now they have a whole bunch of colors in this as well. But for piecing, I usually use this one or the black, depending on what I'm doing. So I'm a huge fan of Aurifil thread. I've got loads and loads of colors of Aurifil thread. But if I use Aurifil on this machine, it unthreads every single time when I hit the trim button, and it makes me crazy, stupid crazy. Let me scroll down in the comments. What thread am I using? Oh, I just shared that. Okay. I can adjust the thread tail when using a cutter. Harriet, you know what? I asked to lengthen turn the top tension dial counterclockwise. Right. So that's not really adjusting the length of the thread tail. That's adjusting the tension. Yeah. And you're right. You can adjust this dial up here on the top of the machine so that it's not as tight down here. And yeah, you certainly can do that. I have not fiddled with that dial since I got it because I love where it's at right now. To me, it was worth it to adjust, to change the kind of thread I use versus adjusting the tension. I'm not a fan of adjusting tension manually at all on anything. Bobbin cases, anything. Because I'm afraid I'm going to mess it up and then I won't be able to get it back to industry. So, Kim, are you asking me where's my store in Texas? I don't have a store, sweetie. A storefront. We have an online store, a Shopify, and it's powertoolswiththreadstore.com. We've got merchandise in there, Power Tools with Thread Nation merchandise, and we've got my husband sells. I don't think he's got any of these. He's got magnets. Here's the seam ripper. Here's the little seam ripper that he makes. He makes these out of acrylic. No two are alike. And one end is the seam ripper, right? PowerToolsWithThreadStore.com. These are great Christmas gifts, you guys, for your quilty friends. So one end is a seam ripper. See that? And these are stainless steel, best in the industry. And the other end is a stiletto. Okay, there's your little stiletto. And that's handy to help get things through under, the needle. But these are nice. They're curved. They fit nicely in your hand. They've got a nice heft to them. And then they've got a little groove on the end of them so that you know which end is which. But that's what that is for. So I love them. And we've got all different colors. Just woke up. Well, hey, Frida, I hope that was you who had the good birthday yesterday. All right. So I need to press this and get this binding strip ironed in half. So let's do something exciting and watch me iron. Yeah. Okay. Let me get by here and I'll just turn you again. Cords. Where's my camera guy when I need one? Yeah. All right. So I don't have 8 miles of binding, so I'm not going to use my little pressing mat that I've got. I'm just going to fold this in half. So my ironing station is a hemness dresser from IKEA. And my iron is the Sapporo Gravity Fed 527. This is in my Amazon store. You guys, this iron it's got to be 9 years old, 9 or 10 years old now. And because the water goes through this condenser right here on the outside of the iron, there's never water in the machine, in the iron, so it never spits out rust or brown on my projects, which I love. It's not pretty. It's very heavy. It's very hot. I have my little luggage handle over the handle. But it's a beast and it works. Now this is a favorite of garment seamstresses. One of my things I love about it is that it doesn't have an auto off. I don't like the safety nannies making my iron turn off because I turn this on first thing in the morning and it stays on for a good 8 to 10 hours because I'm in here every day. And I don't want my iron turning off. I hate that. Yes, you guys, so I just got a text from Pam and she asked if the coupon code on Embrilliance benefits me. Yes, ma'am, but only if you use my link. You get 10% off, but you need to start at my link. And if you want to help me out, you guys can go to, look at my big light right here. Sorry. You guys can go to, no, that's not going to work. PowerToolsWithThread.com, which is my blog. I'm sorry. I'm just going to have to leave this right here. PowerToolsWithThread.com, which is my blog. And right on the main page over in the left hand or right hand corner, right hand on your right side, there's a green box that says EMBRILLIANCE. So if you start there and then use the coupon code, if you click on that box, it'll jump you to the EMBRILLIANCE website, and then use the coupon code. That's how that works. So I did put out a blog post, and I put it in our Facebook group. And I need to link it right below this video, which I will do as soon as we are finished here. And it's good through December 24th. So if you guys want to start doing your automated applique, like I show, now is the time to grab your Stitch Artist 2. Okay, I've got my binding strip all made here. Let's hope it's big enough to go around. I thought I measured it. Should be. The fabric's 40 times 4 is 160, right? And the quilt top is 30 and a half across and 37 down, 4 sides. So it should fit, right? Your Christmas present, Pam. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you. Absolutely. And Happy Hanukkah to my Jewish friends out there. Very nice. They started Hanukkah, what, on the 12th, I think it was, or the 10th, y'all? Okay. So, just like usual, Maureen got hers in October. Very good. Yeah. Oh, Harriet says she thought that it was like her. She has an additional dial. Okay. So I'm going to leave about a 10-inch tail. Okay. And I'm going to stitch this with the raw edges of the binding strip. See, I've got it open. The raw edges of the binding strip to the raw edge of the quilt top. What I'm going to do. Okay. Now I also have, geez. Ah! Oh, y'all. Almost got it in my coffee. Goodness sakes, get that away from your machine, Becky. Don't forget the thumbs up. Yeah, you guys, hey, hit the little thumbs up below the video. That shows everybody that you just love our Stitchuation room and hanging out in the morning. Kyle Lord, your 1500 PQ 1500 is out for delivery. Yay! You will love that machine. It is a game changer. Your piecing is much better. Everything is just better. It's amazing. It changed. This machine increased my proficiency in piecing and binding exponentially compared to a standard domestic machine that does not have a single needle hole, because it allows, standard domestics have a larger needle hole on them to allow the zigzag to go back and forth. This one doesn't zigzag. Its sole purpose in life is a straight stitch. That's all it does. And it does it 10 times better than a standard domestic machine. So this machine in my Amazon store is less than $700. I think it's like $675 or something like that, because they're phasing it out. They've come out with the new 1600. That's the new one. All right. So I like to start on the side of the quilt. It does not matter where you start. I've got pieces, little bits of tape. See that white paper tape on the edge? That's because I taped the top and the batting to the stabilizer when I did the edges here, so that the embroidery foot didn't get caught up. The background quilting on this little quilt, on this wall hanging, is done with Kimberbell's clear blue tiles. I'm going to use my zoom so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. It's very boring. This is what we're going to do. If you got to go take a comfort break, now's the time, right? All right. So again, raw edges, I leave about a 10-inch tail. Okay. Raw edge to raw edge. And I'm just going to sew with a 1/4-inch seam. And I back stitch. That's not 10 inches. A little bit more. I'm going to do a diagonal seam finish. There we go. So there's my tail. That's enough. I also have this plastic template right here, and it has a 45-degree angle on it with a point. And this is how I miter my corners. Okay, it's just a piece of plastic. I got this tip from Karen Brown from Just Get It Done Quilts, and it helps you to make a perfect miter on your corners as you go around and sew this to the top. So I'll show you how to do that here in a second. So I'm getting my backing and my binding and everything all straight and aligned, and I am going to back stitch. I'm at about a 2.5-inch stitch length, and I'm just going to stitch this on. Now, when I do this, this is a trick I learned from Janet Prey from Islander Sewing Systems. She's a fantastic garment seamstress. So in any sewing machine, unless you're using a move-it foot or a walking foot, the fabric on the bottom is going to be pulled through faster than the fabric on the top because of the feed dogs. There's more tension on the bottom. Okay, so her mother was in the garment sewing industry, and in industry, they don't have time to pin. So, and they don't use walking feet. Okay, they use this kind of foot, usually on those big industrial machines. So what they do is they teach their workers, you put your thumb under, you get all your fabric pieces lined up, you put your thumb under and your fingers on top, and you roll it. And that motion prevents the bottom from being pulled through faster than the top. Okay. Or the other way, it prevents the top from being pulled through slower than the bottom. So then you give it some tension on the back. And you don't get the bubble up either when you do that, because if your binding on the top bubbles, that's because the bottom is being pulled through faster than the top. So realign it, thumb under, fingers on top, roll it. And sew it with a 1/4 inch. Okay. Thumb under, fingers on top. All right. So right here, now that I'm at the corner, okay, I'm going to take my template and I want to fold this. So first of all, I need to fold this. Let's see. It's got to go. No, not yet. I'm going to get down here. I had a brain freeze there for a second, you guys. Okay. I'm going to mark a 1/4 inch. I've got 1/4 inch markings on this. This is a grid that I cut it off the end of one that goes on the back of my long arm. So I'm going to mark this at the 1/4 inch from the bottom. There we go. All right. And now I'm going to angle the point toward my red diagonal seam tape and stitch off. Okay. I'm going to use the foot as an extra little hand there. And then this needs to fold. I need to get this just exactly right. So So I'm going to put this here right on the edge and a point at the corner, and I'm folding that over nice and flat to get my 45 miter. And then I'm going to use the other end of this and put it flat to get my 90-degree angle like this on here and fold that over. Okay. And then pull it out. So that's a plastic template. I am going to pin this just a little bit, hold it in place since the miter on it is correct. And then I'm going to turn it. Okay. And I start, I don't know, ½ inch down and go backwards first. All right, good. That's how I turn the corner to make a perfect miter on my corner. Let me see what you guys are doing. I hear my husband's up, so he's got the dog out. Oh, very good, Kim. Look, that's a great idea. She made one of those binding tools on her SCANNCUT from template material and marked the 1/4 inch all the way around. Brilliant. Very good. There is a 1/4 inch marking on the plate, Valerie. Yes, ma'am. Yep. It's absolutely there. Yeah, that's a great thing to use that. And what they're talking about is on this side of the plate right here, there is a 1/4 inch line for that. So, but I marked it before my fabric got up that way. That 505 is holding pretty well, you guys. Just got to make sure it stays. I should have pinned this, but I didn't because I was lazy. And I was out running around, didn't have time to do that. Looking good. Got to do the 1/4 inch seam exactly because I've got points down here. See that? I got points down here right there on that barn star, and I don't want to tip them. So you got to make sure your 1/4 inch is right. I got 1/4 inch tips. You guys got stuff you gotta, do you guys have stuff you need to get finished for the holidays? You probably ought to get working. You better quit. You should stop watching me or pull it out and watch me while you're doing it, right? Need to get busy. Chop, chop. Okay, so there's that 1/4 inch on the plate right there. Pull it, lift it up, point the corner of the quilt to the red line, stitch off. There we go. Use my template. Line it up even with the edge of the quilt and put the point right on the point of the quilt fabric and then fold this back. Perfect. Just like that. And put this and then put this under here, the other end of it, and get my perfect miter. Very nice. I don't rely on chance to get this because I usually doesn't turn out like I would like. So I like to use my little template. You can wing it if you want to. If you're good, I'm not that good. Okay. What stabilizer do I use most of the time for embroidery? Usually it's no-show mesh. I use the new Bro Thread no-show mesh. Okay. Not everyone waits until the last minute to make gifts for Christmas. Really? That's not a thing? That's hilarious. That's too funny. Y'all, you know what? I did a bank transfer yesterday to all the kids. So my Christmas shopping is done. They would rather have a bigger bank balance than any gift. So now the kids get, stuff. But I am so busy with the channel that I just don't have time. And I don't think about it to be making gifts for people. Oh, I'm so happy with how that turned out. Goodness sakes, that's nice. All right. Don't you just love it when a plan comes together? Isn't this exciting watching me sew? Yep, got to get done. Oh, I hear Harley barking. They get their breakfast at 8 o'clock. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I went to. Let's see here. Where's the end? I can't see. I need my glasses. There it is. Right there. Okay. Yes, that's what I do too, Kim. That is exactly what I do. You see cute things to make at the last minute, and then there's no time. Not how that works. That is exactly my problem too. I just go squirrel, and then it's like, well, now what? Now, something's got to give if I want to make that. This Peace on Earth was, I saw it at the Houston Quilt Festival. I saw it in their catalog first, and I thought, oh, that's adorable. I love that. But no, I don't have time to make it because it's already November. And then I saw it hanging in the Connecting Threads booth at the Quilt Festival. And I said, well, I've got to have that. And you guys, they gave a fat quarter bundle of this fabric to me to give to you. And I gave it away on one of my lives. They are so generous. The folks at Connecting Threads are wonderful. Okay. So even if we run out of time, I am going to stick around and show you guys how I finish the diagonal seam binding at the end here. So I'm coming up on my fourth corner, and I do want to show you that before we go, and then we'll stitch in the ditch on it tomorrow. There's always another day, right? And my husband's going to run me out of the house. We got to go to Costco and pick up his glasses. Then we got to go to the bank and drop off some papers. Maybe I'll get him to take me out to lunch and I'll have a margarita for lunch. Wouldn't that be great? That'd be awesome. He's driving, so that's cool. Okay, last one. You guys don't have to use plastic for this. You can use, I think Karen showed that you could use like cardboard from a cereal box. You can cut up a butter tub, you know, any plastic at all. It's very handy. Something that you can move around. Very handy. Okay, that's good. She's so full of good ideas. All right. She understands color theory much better than I do. All right, so I'm coming up on the end of the end here. So I'm going to do about a 4-finger big spread width, and then I'm going to put this. Okay, 4-finger big spread width. That gives me room to work, and I'm going to put a pin. So this is where I'm going to stop sewing. And I've got plenty left. Whoops. There goes my mouse. Okay. Okay, so we are ready to finish the diagonal seam binding. I use, again, I use my foot as a third hand. Let me get in here and show you guys how to do this. Okay, Deb, I'll have a margarita for you too. All right, so this is the way I do this. Let's see. Kind of hard to see on the black, but it is what it is. Okay, so this one that I left open, remember that much, I maybe went a little too far. I probably need to open that up just a little bit. Give myself a little more room to work. I should know better. Let me see here. This seam ripper, you guys, I've used the fire out of it. It's getting a little dull. Okay, so I'm just going to cut the end. Where are my shears? I'm just going to cut the end off of a strip, okay? And that's my measuring guide. Right? Well, I need to make it a little shorter, don't I? Okay. I really need more room here. I've got to do this. Bear with me, y'all. There we go. Okay. Gave me some more space. All right. So here's my tail. Now this is the end that's on my left-hand side. I'm going to lay it out. Well, first of all, I'm just going to lay it flat like that. Okay. I'm going to take my measuring guide. That's my measuring guide, that little piece I cut off, and I'm going to open it up flat. And I'm going to put it so that the edge of the measuring guide is right even with the edge of the end of the binding strip. And then I'm going to grab it and I'm going to drag it up toward my right side about 1/4 of an inch. Okay. Then this piece, I'm going to lay it over the top right here, lay it flat, take my shears, and on this end of the measuring guide, I'm going to cut it just like that. Okay. I've got my little strip left there. All right. I'm done with this. So now this one on my left, lay it out flat. I'm going to lay it down face up like that flat. This one on the right, you want to open it up so that you're looking at the wrong side of the fabric, and you're going to rotate it away from you 360 degrees all the way around. So you got a big twisty down here on the bottom. I'll do this again. Okay. The one on the left, open it up, lay it out flat. The one on the right, I'm looking at the back side. This is the wrong side. And I'm going to twist it around 360 degrees, not halfway, all the way. And then you want to pin these together so that the corners match, right sides together. And then I'm making sure that the ends are nice and they meet right here. And I'm going to smooth this out with my thumb, and then I'm going to put a pin right down here on this side closest to me. And now I'm going to sew from corner to corner. And my thread is coming out of my needle. There we go. And it's kind of fiddly, but that's all right. Make sure I get that top one nice, and I'm making sure these edges are nice and even right here. Okay. All right, now before you cut, I'm going to pull my pins and pull it straight and make sure it fits. And it does. That's perfect. Okay. Every time it's perfect. Every time. All right. I'm going to cut my 1/4 inch seam right here. Get rid of these little triangles. And now I'm ready. My finger press my seam there. Now I am ready to sew it all together. And then we'll be done. Let me go back to where I opened it up to. Thumb under, finger on top. My top layer is shifting. All righty. That works. That looks good. Now I will go and iron it all out. Okay, so it fit perfectly. I'm going to iron it flat, and especially iron these mitered corners out so that they look nice and pretty from the front. And then tomorrow we'll stitch in the ditch and bind it from the front. So Y'all are talking about margaritas. Yes, quilting is fiddly. You're absolutely right. What happened to my mouse? I think it fell down here. So that's that's how we make the sausage, you guys. That's that's the way that goes. Yeah. Oh, I've left that up there forever, didn't I, Kim? Well, we have the same problem. So, all right, you guys. So this has been fun. Let me not chop off my head. I'll bring this back up. Thank you for joining me this morning. I hope if you did not know how to join a diagonal seam, now you do for your binding. That's one of my favorite methods to use. I've got videos on my channel to show you how to do that step by step. Just search on my channel diagonal binding finish, and it will come up on YouTube, and you'll see the one for power tools with thread. I'm working on a little sample. So, all right, you guys, this has been, yes, stitch in the ditch, the binding. Yes, absolutely, Sue. That's how I do it. So, all right, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining me. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. See you in the morning. Enjoy your day. Go sew something. Bye.